prerequisites to get this Microsoft Store app to work for you. First thing is you need to have a 2-core processor on the computer that where you're going to target, and I'm pretty sure this is already available in most of the cases. And also the backbone of this entire structure is Intune management extension. So that's a component that has to be installed. Of course, when you enroll into Microsoft Intune, this component gets automatically pushed, so you don't need to do anything, but IME or Intune management extension is a critical it's going to play a critical role in order to work with the Microsoft Store applications. Now the next thing would be the access to the Microsoft Store. As I said, from a firewall point of view, you need to have store specific URLs should be allowed, and also the content delivery. Let's say if I allowed Microsoft Store but not the WinZip specific website, the content wherever it is, in that case you cannot push this application called WinZip, because you're actually blocking that WinZip, right? So you need to test that functionality. That's one of the consideration points. So every application might need a different URLs to access. Of course, if you're trying to use Slack, definitely you would definitely allow that Slack specific URLs. If not, definitely you're not going to use that application, right? So these are the prerequisites I would talk about it. Now let's have a look on what are the not available options. Let's see, if I search for a WinZip and if I don't see, it could be a regional level restrictions or maybe age level restrictions, because not all the applications are available for everybody. So there could be some kind of blockage. The second thing would be the app may be a paid application. At this point of time, recording of this in the month of February 2023, this is not available. In the future, they're going to come up with the paid applications also. Similarly, if there is an application called Android app, it's not going to support it. And also, if it is not available publicly, maybe just available in their consumer store, you cannot push that application. So the application should be available publicly, then only you should be able to make it. So that being said, I gave you an idea about the, let's have a look on it. Okay, about these Windows new platform application, which is universal, and also PWAs, meaning these two are the latest application method that they are using, and in the back end, since they are going to use something called winget to download and install. For that, we did talk about the command lines that are useful things. Now in the next lecture, I would be showing you how to deploy the applications. But before I wind up, I don't want to keep you into the suspense state. Instead, I wanted to show you how I would search it. So if you just go to your portal, Intune portal, and go to applications and Windows applications, click on add. Now within this you have an experience called new and legacy. So most probably the legacy method will be taken out after month of May or maybe a March. The official date is March, but they may or may not be extended, but this is gonna retire. Okay, and the legacy, other than the legacy, you have an option for new method, which is, we talked about this winget command, right? So it actually uses in the backend winget to pull up the new store application. So click on select, and then when you search the Microsoft Store application, let's say I want to search for Slack. Okay, now might be Slack company has published this application as a WP or UWP, Universal Windows Platform Based Application. That's why I've taken some time to explain to you what exactly Universal Windows Platform method. So what happens is when you select this, it's actually going to deploy that package. So in the back end, what is happening? In the back end, it is actually searching for example, Slack. That's what I hit it. So when I search for Slack, it actually gonna search for all these applications. Okay, so out of that there's an application called application package identity 9W, right? So this is what it is actually coming up somewhere 9W, you see. So this method actually pulling the right one. Okay, and the publisher information is given here. So these details it is actually pulling, and the package is readily available for your deployment. What you do in the next step, you simply click on next, and you would target in a required or maybe available mode for your users. This is how it's going to work in the backend. Similarly, if I want to give a try another application, I wanted to show you something here. If you remember, in the past it was showing as a WP, right? That's a universal Windows platform. Now if I search for WinZip, in this case there is something called a Win32 and also Windows Universal Platform. So there is a difference between these two, definitely, right? You know that now this is a great experience that users get it for on their any Windows devices. It could be HoloLens or Xbox or maybe Windows IoT devices or Windows 10 or 11, right? But this Win32 is something new. So if you remember, we used to deploy Win32 applications, right? So if I just go back here from a new tab, I would like to show you here from the Windows apps, you have an option. So Win32, right? So this is nothing but you actually download the package and then you create with the Intune wrapper tool the package called .intune win format file, right? Then you would upload that so that it actually deployed, right? So this is again an experience that for you a complicated experience, I would say, because you have to create a package, you have to customize. There is a lot of time actually spent, right? But instead of that, with the Wingate, okay, with the Wingate command, you also have Win32 applications that could be community applications. So when I say community, what, like me or like you create an application and you publish to the community in a GitHub, and that application exists there, and there's no problem with the application from a security point of view, then it will be listed here and people can use that since it's a community based application. So simply by using this, it would you should be able to push it, so you get the same experience, but it actually saves a lot of time for you, right? So this is the bigger advantage when you go with the new store based deployment. So just to consolidate for the application deployment method here, you can deploy universal Windows applications as well as Win32 based applications. That's the advantage by going here. I hope I made it very easy for you to understand from the basic to console navigation. In case if you have any questions, post into the comment section or questions and answer section. I would be happy to help you out. Make sure you check out the next